Welcome to Tensegrity Training's 20-minute class using our Reformer Essentials repertoire. I have Sue with me today and she's going to demonstrate. I'm going to provide some good feedback to her and we are going to get started with our double footwork. Starting with our heels on the bar, you'd want to make sure that your knees are 90 degrees of flexion and your hips 90 degrees of flexion and pelvis in neutral and spine relaxed. We take a breath in to prepare. As we exhale, we push through the heels as if we're pushing the foot bar away, and inhale, coming in like you're resisting the springs and your knees to go to the ceiling. Exhale, push out. Letting those hamstrings do as much work as possible, keeping that lovely little gap between your waist and the mat. Exhale, pushing the air out of the lungs, activating your pelvic floor and your abdominals. Inhale, expand through the ribs. Exhale, narrow the ribs, engage pelvic floor and abdominals, keeping a nice parallel line. We do 2 more of these and we have got a moderately high spring load on here to ensure that the hamstrings work and there's a little bit of load through the adductors. Now we're going to swap to the balls of our feet. And it's like you've got a small high heel on, lifting your heels a little, relaxing your toes. Inhale and exhale, pushing out, maintaining your heels at the same height that they started at, so that we get the anterior ankle gliding in the way that it should. So your tibia and fibula glide over your talus. Your knees remain nice and parallel. Still activating through the hamstrings, relaxing the shoulders, and fantastic breathing happening here. And it's really nice work for the ankles. We're working our calf muscles a little, hamstrings, adductors, pelvic floor, abdominals as stabilizers. We're doing about 6 to 8 in each position for this little workout. And we have 1 more to go. And we're going to go into the first of our turnout. So we keep the balls of the feet where they are, squeeze your heels together, use your external rotators, just like you do clams when you're lying on the mat. Breathing in and exhale, roll the femoral heads out in the acetabulum. Inhale, elongate your knees out to the outer edge of the foot bar. And Sue's keeping a really nice alignment between her ankles, her knees, and her pelvis. Her shoulders are nice and relaxed, and she's fantastic at breathing. And that's what we want to see. Good, full forced exhalations with good contraction throughout the whole exercise with your pelvic floor and abdominals. And really turning out from the inside of your hip. So the thigh bones, the head is called your femur head. It rolls outwards. It's a really good workout for those deep lateral rotators. Now we're going to go into your wide V's with your heels on the outer edge on this reformer of the black rubber. We inhale, exhale, push hard through the heels, activate the lateral hamstrings, and you'll be supported by good, stable contractions of your pelvic floor and your abdominals. And remember, whenever you're doing footwork, it's not just heavy springs, bang out, bang in. It's control push on the way out and controlled resistance on the way in. So we would be working our hamstrings concentrically here, and then as we draw in with resistance, we work them eccentrically. It's important to activate the muscles and contract them while they lengthen as well as when they shorten. So Sue's going to do 2 more of these before we go into some stretching for the calves. So bringing your legs together, Sue, in a parallel line after this one on the balls of your feet. And we're going to do heel raises. So this one does work your calves. We breathe in to prepare, exhale, push out. Inhale, drop your heels under the bar. And then exhale, rise up onto your tiptoes. Inhale, close the carriage. Now we go for 2. Exhale, push out. Inhale, drop heels. Exhale, tip toes. Inhale, close the drop heels and up, and inhale, close the bed. For 3, exhale out. Inhale, drop heels. Exhale, tip toes. Inhale, drop heels. Exhale, tip. Inhale, drop. Exhale, tip toes. Resist and come in for a set of 4. Exhale and out. Inhale, drop. Exhale, tiptoes. Inhale, drop. Exhale, tiptoes. Inhale, drop. Exhale, tiptoes. Inhale, drop. Exhale, tiptoes. Inhale, come in. We're going for 5. Exhale, out. Inhale, drop. As Sue continues to do that, she's getting a fabulous stretch for her calves, but she's also really working them. So we don't ever want to go beyond 6 because you'll end up having too much of a lactic acid residue in your calves, and we're not here to make you not be able to work or walk. And last one for 6. And we'll finish there. Sue hasn't gone through the entire 6 repetitions, but you can finish on that last one of 6. Now we're going to go into parallel prancing. So pushing out, you bend one knee and drop the other, keeping your knees parallel so that they go up to the ceiling. And swap. Make sure both legs are straight and you're up on your tiptoes as you pass through center. And usually we get people to do this for 10 to 20. But what you'll want to be looking out for in your own practice, and if you're then going to be teaching other people, don't let their pelvises move. It's not a salsa dance, is it, Sue? It's a march in the sagittal plane, keeping your hips in line with your pubic bone. So that finishes our double leg warm-up, which is good stabilization for the pelvis. We're going to make it a little bit more challenging now by reducing the base of support, by floating the left leg up to tabletop, so that Sue will do her single leg work on the balls of her right foot. So her knee is at 90 degrees of flexion, her toes are relaxed or flexed, it doesn't matter, whichever's comfortable for you. But you do have to keep your pelvis in line. So inhale, prepare. Exhale, push out using your hamstrings of the right leg. Inhale, resist and come in. Exhale and push out. Inhale, come in. Exhale, push out. We're going to do 4 on each side here. This is the last one. We close the bed, 2 feet on the bar, float the right leg up. Inhale, exhale, push out with the left leg. And inhale, come in. See how that left leg is staying nicely aligned. And Sue's keeping her pelvis and feet very still. Now we're going to single leg heels. So the heel is on the bar and the left leg is straight out to 45 degrees. So lowering it almost just above the bar. So you're having to work your abdominals to keep this here. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, push out. Inhale, resist and come in. Exhale, coming out. And just watch how Sue's keeping her pelvis nice and still, her neck and throat relaxed, arms lengthened on the carriage, and she's focusing on the exchange of the oxygen coming in and then exhaling to get rid of the unnecessary CO2. And now we place the left foot on the bar, extend the right leg out to 45 degrees, inhale and exhale, push out. Nice resistance. Remember, this is a warm-up to stabilize your pelvis and warm yourself up, ready for some more challenging arms in straps. So Sue's going to change the springs to 1 spring, a weight of 1. Those of you who have your own reformers at home, you might like to put your foot bar on after this before you go to arms in straps and do some jumping. But for now, we're going to move straight onto our arms in straps. Sue's going to demonstrate how to do arms down, our whole supine arm series, and then I'm going to tell you a sneaky secret about how you can do this arm work at home if you don't have a reformer. So checking in, legs are in tabletop, our arms are at 90 degrees of flexion, so there's a little bit of tension on the springs. Inhale and exhale, reach from your armpits, your elbows, your fingertips. Inhale, bring your arms up just to 90 degrees of flexion. Exhale and reach down. And inhale, coming up from the back of your armpits through to your elbows and your fingertips. And the aim here is not to move your legs. If you notice your legs are moving, you might need to activate your abdominals a little more strongly. Sue's going to repeat 3 more of these. If you've got some TheraBand, you can tie it to your doorknob and have 2 lengths of it long and place them in your hands, with your head closest to the door frame. And you just pull down with the TheraBand as you do on these springs. Any of you that don't have TheraBand at home, you can always drop by the studio and we have saleable items at the door front. Now we're going to bend the elbows, place them by our sides for an exercise called chicken wings. Same concept, strong abdominal stabilization, but we're working our triceps here. Lengthening through the elbows as you straighten the arms, lengthen through the elbows as you bend the arms. So we don't want to lose sight of the length through the back of your upper arm. That's why I use the cueing of the elbow reaching as the arms go down, the elbow reaching as the elbows bend. This will stop you from rolling your shoulders forward, which is very common when we do this tricep exercise. Yes, that's what does happen. And so watch out for that if you're doing your own home practice. Now we're going on to a more challenging one, which takes us out of the sagittal plane, takes our arms out to the side, and this is called arms down. So this one is in the frontal plane. We are adducting the arms, bring them into our side, keeping our thumbs on top. Inhale, open the arms to shoulder height. Exhale, drawing them down. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, really reaching from the back of the armpits and leading with your pinkies. They will help you activate your serratus anterior and a little bit of your lats. We're now going to go back to the arms down series and we're going to add a little bit of abdominal work by going into curl up. So reaching the arms to the ceiling. This time Sue will do a curl up as her arms go down. She's going to repeat 5 of these. Inhale, exhale, head up, arms down, abs beautifully engaged, head down, same time as the arms come back to the beginning. And you can see how Sue is lengthening the back of her head, softening in her sternum. And on this last one, I'm going to challenge her to stay there. Breathe in and press the lower back ribs into the mat to curl up a bit higher and higher. And inhale, lower back to the floor. So you can add that little challenge if you want to make it a little harder for yourselves. Now we bend our arms back to our chicken wing position and go into chicken wing coordination. Now this is any instructor's challenge to get the words out of the mouth. It's any participant's challenge to get the movements out of their body. So here, Sue and I are going to go and make a good team, hopefully. So inhale, prepare. Exhale, extend the legs and arms and curl up. Inhale, open and close the legs quickly. Exhale, just bend the legs. Inhale, lower the head and the arms. Bravo, Sue. Let's go again. And exhale, everything open and inhale. Exhale, legs. Inhale, head down, arms bend. Exhale, legs out, head up. Inhale, open, close. Exhale, bend the legs. Inhale, head down, arms up. Exhale. Inhale, open, close. Exhale, bend the legs. Inhale, head down and arms bend. One more. Exhale. Inhale, open, close. Exhale, bend the legs. Inhale, head and arms. Excellent job, Sue. Now this is the point where we might just rest the legs, have a little breather, because now we're going into an exercise that does challenge your abdominals. So before we do that, I ask clients to just rock their knees to one side and rock them to the other to stretch out the sacrum. It takes us out of the sagittal plane, get a little bit of horizontal plane happening to rotate in the hip joint. Now everybody knows a good old hundreds. So I'd like to draw your attention to the fact that on the reformer we only have small pumps at the shoulder joint, but we do vigorously pump. So got the straps.
Yeah, this one's just a little bit long.
Let me fix that and pop them there. Oops. There we go. So we're going to do the hundreds in 2 degrees of difficulty. One will be starting at your 90 degrees of flexion, and the other will be where I ask Sue if she wishes to lengthen the legs to make it a more difficult exercise with a longer lever. So we prepare just like the previous curl up exercise, and up she comes. Inhale and pump for 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, out, in. A progressive out breath, up progressive in breath, 4, 5, and out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In, 2, 3, 4, 5. Out, 2, 3, 4, 5. In. Notice how her abdominals sink really strongly, and she expands through the ribs, even though she's doing this really challenging exercise. One more set, and then a long out breath as she folds her knees in and lowers her head. One more thing before I let her go out of this abdominal series is our oblique curl-ups. So Sue will take her legs to tabletop. They're a little bit wider than previously because she's going to curl up, and as she does, she places her left arm between her legs and her right arm on the outside. So she's rotating to the right. Inhale, head goes down, leg, arms up. Exhale, curl to the left. Inhale, down. Now what we're looking for here is that you keep your pelvis still. So Sue's going to continue to do 2 more reps each side. And those of you who wish to do a greater challenge, you can always keep your head up in between. But if you experience any neck pain or pulling, you're best to go down onto the headrest in between. And Sue's going to have a rest, and we continue on to our legs in strap series. Now on this reformer for today, we're not going to change the spring. We're not going to change the length of the straps, because the shorter the straps, the more load there is, therefore we don't need to put more spring on. However, if you are fortunate to have those reformers that have the small loops inside the large loops, this is where you will swap and add another spring to the load, and you will put your feet into the large straps. You push out with one leg, place your foot into the strap, put all your weight into that leg as you lift up the other leg, and we're going to start with leg lowers. So our ankles are together, legs starting at 90 degrees of flexion in neutral pelvis. You never start higher than where you cannot maintain your pelvis in neutral. And exhale, reach the legs long, only as low as you can keep your pelvis in that neutral position. And now you come back to your previous starting position. Reaching your arms long, reach your legs long. Here's a tip. As your legs go up, send your tailbone down towards the mat and into the floor. Push out through the part of your foot that makes contact with the straps. As you come up, to elongate and get the best stretch out of your hamstrings, press your tailbone to the floor. And inhale up. You'll do 2 more of these. And Sue comes back to the beginning position, and we go into leg circles. Open on the inhale, exhale, down, and bring the legs together. Inhale, legs back up to 90 and open. And exhale, down and together. Inhale, up and open. Exhale, down and together. Trying to keep your pelvis still, so don't bring the legs too wide or too high if you cannot anchor through your sacrum. We find if people do this, the sacrum lifts off the mat and you're loading your lower back every time you pull tension to the straps. And this is not good for your back. Now we're going to go into reverse circles. So you exhale, take the legs down. Inhale, open them and bring them up. And exhale, down with the legs. Inhale, open, up and together. Exhale and lower. Inhale, open and up. Exhale, down. And last one. And we're going to go into our more challenging external rotation exercise, our frog. So to prepare for this, Sue will lower her legs to 45 degrees. And she externally rotates them just like she did in our footwork for the small frogs. And as she inhales, she bends her knees but doesn't bring her thighs any closer than 90 degrees of flexion. Imagining that she is sliding her heels along an imaginary pole. Exhale, push the legs away, externally rotating. Inhale, bring them in. Exhale, push out. So the emphasis in this frog exercise is the pushing away, the resisting coming in. You don't want to load your lumbar spine by coming out of neutral pelvis through each exercise. Your back will not be happy. So it's deep folding in the hip joint and external rotation. We're going to go into our first series of reverse frogs. So from that position that we are in, Sue is going to bend her knees in, and then without moving the bed, she's going to extend from the knee, open the legs on the inhale, no moving the bed. Then she is going to draw on her adductors strongly to keep the external rotation and draw the inner thighs together as she reaches away from her. So probably lower your legs a little bit, Sue. Bend your knees in. Inhale and open the legs. Control to not move the carriage. Now externally rotate and draw the legs together like you're trying to reach them out to the foot bar. Inhale, bend the knees. And extend the knees, all on the one in-breath. Exhale, draw the legs together. Inhale, bend the knees and open the legs. Exhale, draw them together. One more of these. Inhale, exhale. Now from there we go reverse. You inhale, open the legs. And bend the knees without moving the carriage so the heels come together. Exhale, push away. Inhale, open and bend the knees. Exhale, push away. For those of you that are interested in the joint action, we have knee flexion here. As we push the carriage away, we have knee extension. This is hip abduction, knee flexion, knee extension. Hip abduction, knee flexion, extension. One more, beautifully executed. And now Sue will take her legs up to 90 degrees. We're doing leg openings at 90 degrees. Now in this one, we don't move the bed at all. It's much more about stretching and activating the adductors. So Sue will lower her legs just slightly so she gets her whole sacrum on the floor, on the carriage, and inhale, opening the legs, keeping the legs in parallel. So beautiful stretch for the adductors. Then without moving the carriage, she engages her abdominals and pelvic floor and really works those inner thigh muscles, the adductors. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. She does two more of those. And close. And open and close. Now she lowers the legs down to 45 degrees and she externally rotates. Even a little bit lower I think Sue can go because she's got the abdominal strength. This is leg openings at 45